From the Silicon Slopes Tech Summit, I'm your host, Josh Matches, and I'm joined by Curt Queyrouze, the President and CEO of Tab Bank. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Josh. It's great to be here. I appreciate it.
So, for all of us who might not know about it that are watching, tell us about Tab Bank and what you guys do.
I will. So, Tab Bank, we're a small bank, but we're located here in Ogden, Utah. And really, what's interesting about us is we've never had a branch, but we're not a new bank. We've been around for 23 years. So we primarily originally served truck drivers. And so back in say 1999, we had fax machines in truck stops, and truck drivers would stop, fax documents to us, and we would do financial transactions for them, allow them to buy fuel and go pick up the next load. And so we were literally doing mobile banking before the smartphones and mobile phones enabled it. And so over the years, we've kind of transitioned, and in the last 10 years, we've done a digital conversion. So today, we don't have the paperwork or fax machines, thank goodness, but we still are able to provide a lot of services for truck drivers as well as small businesses and consumers all over the country. We're having a lot of success today, and we really have done that based upon three pillars of running the bank. And our three pillars are great people, deliver a great customer experience, and that leads to great financial success for our customers. And I think what's unique about that, a lot of people talk about focusing on their employees and their customers, but we also very much lean into focusing on customer success. So you won't find us with a lot of penalty fees or overdraft fees or things of that nature. We believe firmly that if we lean into making sure our customers are successful, then that's what's going to result in success for Tab Bank. And right now it's working very well. We're having the best year in the history of the bank, so I would say we're leaning into it pretty well.
Well, that's pretty incredible. So customer success leading to your success. Let's talk a little bit about that, and how does that three pillars kind of approach lead to that success?
So to give you some stats and an example, we came out of the Great Recession, and there's an employee engagement stat basically that I hone in on, which is, would you recommend the bank as a place to work for friends and family? So back out after the recession, 38% of our employees said they would, which is a pretty depressing number. The survey we did this spring, 90% of our employees said they would recommend it as a place to work. So you start there, and it's our employees who then deliver the great customer experience. So we've taken our net promoter scores from our customers from the mid-40s, which is respectable a few years ago. The most recent measurement was at 72, which puts us at the top of banking. And so, this sounds like good buzzwords, but if you really lean into this, it really works. And then, as we are today, we're making record amounts of profit because our customers are as healthy as they've ever been. And so, if you really it's simple, but if you lean into it, it works.
Absolutely. So Curt, what most excites you about the convergence of banking and technology?
Yeah, so we consider ourselves a fintech bank, a bank that's really leaned into technology. What's interesting is technology is an enabler, right? But it doesn't actually improve. Like the technology itself isn't going to make a customer's financial life better. So what we have to do is take the technology and apply it to the business models and change the business models. And so the old way in banking, business model really leaned on, you have to earn the right to bank at our bank, right? Well, that's no longer the way. Today, we go where the customers are. We find out where their needs. In banking now, technology allows us to meet the customer where they are. And today, that doesn't mean necessarily geography. So it doesn't mean we have to have a branch. It means where you work, what industry you're in, what passions you have. You see banks popping up all over the place now that are very much honing in on communities. There are banks that serve musicians. There are banks that specialize on minorities. There are banks now, there's a bank that opened that specializes in the LGBTQ community. And so you follow the communities and you build that kind of community banking model, but you do it digitally and on the internet. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we think is the most exciting changes.
That is exciting. So where do you see the future of banking heading?
Well, I think there's a phrase going around right now in the banking called embedded finance and embedded banking. And again, it really leans into that go where the customer is. And so instead of stopping what you're doing to do your banking, you're able to do your banking as you're doing your normal daily life. A good example of that today is buy now, pay later, which is sweeping retail industry. So if you go on to a website, you buy something, you can pay in 3 installments. Well, that's providing a sort of financing at the point of your transaction. So you're not jumping out of their website, going to another website and applying for credit. It's happening instantaneously. And I think that's the most exciting thing happening right now. And eventually banking will fade into the background, if we're lucky, and won't be obtrusive in your life, but will help you succeed and help you get financial health, help you meet your financial goals, et cetera. And so I think it's a unique time. It's I've been in banking a long time. It's the most exciting time in banking for us. So
Very
looking
exciting.
forward to it. Yep.
And finally, what are the benefits of being headquartered here in Salt Lake City and in Silicon Slopes, really embedded with this community?
Yeah. So I actually am not from Utah. I grew up in Louisiana, and so I moved here 8 years ago. It is one of the most unique places. It is one of the strongest banking states in the country. And so there's a lot of innovative banks headquartered in Utah, but you combine that with the technology that's here, and we get this kind of ability to tap into communities and partnerships and talent that we wouldn't get elsewhere. And so we kind of feed off each other. We do business with a lot of technology companies based here, MX Technologies, as well as Every, a payroll provider, Snap Finance, a consumer lender, are all partners of ours, and they're all based here in Utah. And I don't think we would have found each other had we not been part of this Silicon Slopes community.
Absolutely. Well, Curt, thank you so much for joining us in Silicon Slopes, and congratulations on all your success at Tab Bank.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you.